Welcome back to the bench. It's not too dirty at this point in time, which means I need to get it dirtier. And I would like to either work on or at least talk about working on this TRX4M. It needs some upgrades. All right, so does it really need upgrades? Yeah, in my opinion, you know, it's all right, it's fine. This one is the one that I got with a stock transmission. It looks like the 87 turn. This is actually a prototype motor originally that we did for the 180s. And you know, it crawls, but the low speed control is not great. It's something I'm not gonna address yet. But I actually bought a bunch of aftermarket parts and I hadn't done anything with them yet on this rig. So I probably should, but I don't remember what I bought. So let's take a look. I'm sure y'all been upgrading yours. You should tell me what you did for upgrades. Seriously, I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind. I want to know what you're thinking. Something you can find. I'm not going to find that radio again. All right, let's see what we got. We got pit bulls, AT. They already got our foams in there. We got some stock rims. These stock rims, only one set of blues. That's great, I guess. Why would I do that to myself? All right, we got some Traxxas tires that don't have foams in them. We got me some Traxxas brass rings. Okay, so I got one set of wheels, it looks like, for the front or something. Man, these tires are tall. We got a bag of parts. Oh, we got some aftermarket rims here. I don't know whose or what's. Some Yeah Racing. This isn't. That's not the right parts. We're just gonna toss them into that bin where I'm never gonna find them again. All right, hey, yeah, here we go. Some Samiks. We got some Samiks here. Some brass. But what if I don't want brass? And then we also have some aluminum link sets. So these are, yeah, probably plastic. These are stiff enough. Okay, those rears are not very stiff. Once you start adding weight to it, you know, these may be handy. All right, what else we got? We got some Yeah Racing knuckles. We got some Yeah Racing spring steel front CVDs that might be useful. And aluminum steering link for the front. All right, so out of these parts, I know it's a dangerous thing to do. I think I will probably put these wheels together first. You know, we got some brass. That'll keep us low. I don't really like the idea of the brass on the back, but it's fine, it's fine. So let's assemble these. I have never in my life assembled a set of bead locks so tiny. Are these bead locks? Well, they have to be. I gotta be able to get them apart somehow. I don't even know if I have a small enough Allen for this, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out together. Yeah, probably not that one. Let's start with the smallest, 1.5 millimeter. Not small enough. Oh, maybe it's up here. Is this it? Let's see. Hey, it fits, kinda-ish. Well, good enough. So I'm guessing that this is close to 1 millimeter. It's close enough, and that is my best guess, is that these would normally be a 1 millimeter. But we're gonna do 50 thousandths instead, which is a little bigger. Do y'all know offhand what the conversion is from millimeters into inches? If I remember correctly, it's 40 thousandths, or like 41 thousandths, something like that. It's been a while since I had to do the conversions. On the upside, this is nice and tight, so hopefully nothing gets stripped. These bead locks are tiny. I don't like it already. That is one reason I don't prefer the minis and the micros. It's just so tiny to work on. my fingers already hurt. I'm just complaining at this point, but you know, it's good for the algorithm to complain. It seems that people love watching videos that are rage bait. Is that what it's called? I'm rage baiting back here. I saw an article about Idiocracy yesterday because it's been 20 years. Ah, geez, I lost a screw, but it's stuck to my shirt because it's so tiny. Dax, who was the main, was he protagonist? He wasn't the main character guy, but he's the one where, you know, the main character guy slides out of his time coffin or whatever it was. He was like, "Leave me alone, I'm baiting." That's Dax Shepard, I think that's his name. And he was just talking about how, you know, it wasn't released in theaters, or it was released in like 3 theaters because Fox knew all these sponsorships. These are actually kind of nice little beadlocks. They're so tiny though. Fox knew that all of these sponsors of the movie were going to be kind of mad. Like if you remember, if you remember the scene where they first show Starbucks and it's coffee and hand jobs on. That's what Starbucks is in the future for this movie. And, you know, Starbucks probably isn't going to like that, right? So they neutered the release so that it wasn't all over the US, even though Fox spent like $30 million on the movie. Which, looking at the movie, you wouldn't know that they had that much budget. Which also just makes it, you know, great in other ways. It's got that low budget feel to it with a high budget, actual budget. All right, we'll see how these do. These pit bulls, they feel real nice. I feel like I should get the mold release off of them though. They're still sticky. All right. Now, as compared to the stock tires, before I do this, let's see. Oh, they're a little tinier. So it's going to give us more gear down, but we're going to lose some ground clearance. I don't like the idea of that, but it's what I have. So we're going to go with it. This is, you know, a small crawler. A small mall crawler at that. All right, so why was I talking about Idiocracy? Baiting. God. Rage baiting. There we go. That's why. Yeah. I guess I really didn't have much point on that other than being divisive. But I will say, one of my favorite movies. It's totally a classic. It's way too accurate for the times. And honestly, like, I remember watching it originally, and it was, you know, it was ahead of its time. You thought, oh yeah, there's no way. This was, of course, before smartphones. Let's see, 20 years, that would have been what, 2004 release? I guess this was on the edge of smartphones. You know, we had like the Razor and stuff like that, but smartphones weren't yet a thing. And so having that tracking ability and the ability to know everything that you're searching and advertise in that sense, it wasn't a thing yet. So as they're walking through the movie, if you will, they're getting just like advertisements stuffed on them everywhere. When Dax is watching Ow My Balls, his favorite show, the actual show is only this big, but the screen is huge, and so it's completely tiled in advertisements. And we haven't quite gotten there yet, but I feel like we are getting closer and closer to that sort of scenario. And when would we really start seeing that scenario, I believe, is when they start giving away TV for free. So like right now, for a while at least, it's like you could basically get a free phone as long as you signed up for a certain amount of time on the whatevers. And I'm sure there's plenty of phone providers that'll still do that. And yeah, those phones are just loaded, absolutely loaded with, it's not really spyware so much, but it's bloatware, and it harvests for advertising is all that it really does. And they're integrated into the OS in a way that you can't get rid of it, right? So this is the new model going forwards, is that the hardware itself is not what's valuable. It is the data that they can extract from the hardware as you're using it. We've known that we are the product for quite some time now, but it's becoming more and more of a thing, even to the point to where when you're buying products, a lot of times you're not even buying the actual product. You're essentially renting it because they can shut it off at any point in time, or there's just a lot of software limiting, I feel, at this point, that is going to end up biting us in the ass. It's like having an account. Oh, I gotta put this in. It's like having an account with Spotify. Well, you no longer own any of the music that you listen to because you're essentially renting it from Spotify, right? And if they want to remove some track or some artist from Spotify, yeah, I mean, you're SOL pretty much. There's nothing you can do about it to get that music back because you never owned it, right? And this is where I feel like we're going with TVs. The point of this little rant while I'm doing this is that TVs are getting cheaper and cheaper. And I feel like here in the soon future, we're going to find ourselves where we're either given the TV with the understanding that you're going to be served a lot of ads, which already happens, but let's say you had a choice and you could have a free 40-inch TV that would play ads on a third of the boundary, or you could pay for a 40-inch TV that would serve ads a third of the time. What's going to be your choice there? Is the average consumer going to go for the free TV and then not have to watch ads as breaks, but have ads constantly on the edges of the TV? Like, would people actually make that choice? I feel like a lot of people would. They're like, yo, I could save $200. I could also save the ability to have constant commercials, the commercial breaks, and I just have commercials on the edges all the time. And of course, as things do, the terms would probably change, and we wouldn't, it would kind of bleed over to where, oh, you got ads on a third of your screen, and you're going to get served ads at the same time, every 15 minutes or whatever. This is just a mind exercise, if you will. I'm rage baiting here. Leave me alone, rage baiting. But I feel like this is where we're going, is that we're going to start getting these options of having free TVs given to us, but it's going to be straight up idiocracy to where they're serving ads on a large portion of the screen. And that's your trade-off. You get that free TV, and then you also get ads watching on all corners at all time. And even beyond that, I feel like it's going to be harvesting more data, and they already are. Honestly, they're every time you search, they're harvesting this data. And what's the next step? You have your phone on the network, and they're already doing this. If you have multiple things connected to the network, and you do something like there's an app on your phone, or you connect your phone to connect to the smart TV and control it, they have the ability to scrape all your data from your phone, including your location data, where you went, people that you're around, et cetera, et cetera. The idiocracy is coming true. It really is. So if they could get that free 40-inch TV, let's be real, it's going to be a 47 at least. If they could give you that free TV and then essentially have unrestricted access to your data, which is really what is valuable these days, yeah, they're going to do it. And if it costs them $50 to build the TV or whatever, that's the trade-off. And of course, I think they would do something like a subscription model to where, okay, you gotta get this free TV, but you also have to pay us monthly for like a year for your internet service. Oh, you already got internet service, right? Like you need your internet service to use your TV at this point. At least that's the expectation. So you're gonna pay us, you know, $30 a month or whatever. So they at least can make the cost of their hardware back. They get to scrape all your data and resell that. They get to target you with ads. They know like, oh, you went into PetSmart. You know, your smartphone says you went into PetSmart the other day and our information from your credit card said you bought dog food. So now you get targeted dog food ads. And this isn't even like this could happen. This is already happening now. I mean, just me saying dog food a few times, I'm probably going to get Facebook ads for dog food. But that's really, I feel like this is where we're going for sure, is we're going to get those free TVs, and maybe it'll come with like a, you have to pay us for a year of service sort of thing. But hey, you know, we're going to give you internet that's half the price of anybody else. And then is what it is. And no and thens. And then we'll be served ads on all corners of the TV forever. Wow. That's gonna be crazy, but I feel it's coming. There was way too much prophecy in Idiocracy for that to not be what happens. Because face it, when asked if you want a free TV, there's a lot of people that be like, ads, free TV? Sure. It's a free TV. That's a lot bigger than my other TV. Would I do it? Nope. I would go without TV. As a matter of fact, I don't even have a TV set up right now. I've got TVs, yeah, sure. I probably got one laying around here on the floor, even somewhere. But yeah, I don't have one set up. I'm fixing up another house to move into, and I reckon I'll get internet, but I really don't want to get Netflix. I just don't use it myself, and of course my kids, oh, they want it, but they can go play outside. I can go make some wooden blocks for them to play with. I will give them an education and a table saw. Be like, hey, here you go, make some stuff. Here's some screws and a screw gun, and maybe not a table saw. I'd probably start them out on something like a bandsaw or chop saw. You know, we want to ease them into being able to chop their fingers off. We don't want to just have them chop their fingers off right away. Only happened once though, hopefully. I mean, hopefully none, right? But I'm going right back to shaking my fist at clouds, I guess. Like, I don't want the YouTubes and the Spotify's and all the things on the smart TV. As a matter of fact, I don't want a smart TV. I read a post the other day where the person was like, hey, I don't have internet at my house and I can't use my TV because it's requiring me to make an account and sign in with, you know, whatever brand it was, I don't remember, but it was requiring them to have internet to set up their TV so that they could use their TV even on the HDMI. And that, to me, that's both crazy and scary, that all the TVs pretty much, yeah, you actually do have to pay more right now. I know there's TVs that are not smart TVs and you have to pay more to get a non-smart TV than the equivalent smart TV. And why? It's the data. It's the payback of the data. They can offset the hardware with this long-term, hey, we're going to be able to harvest so much data, whatever it is, that they can offset their hardware cost and sell you a cheaper TV. And that's, yeah, I don't want that. Nope, don't want it. I will pay more for the TV. And I don't want the apps. I don't want the integrated Netflix. I don't want anything. I will get a box. What are those Fire Sticks or whatever? If I want to do something like that, I will do that, which really isn't going to be any better, but I could unplug it. I could get a different TV. So we'll see. I guess part of me, oh no, I've actually got a big screen that is old enough that I don't think it's like really smart integrated. It probably has 1 or 2 apps on there. But the big thing for me is, like, as soon as you hook those up to your internet, they're constantly updating these days, software bloat, and then I've seen it 2 times now with the family TV. Software bloat makes them like useless, pretty much useless, because it'll update and update. Well, it's more memory. So when it boots up, instead of taking 5 seconds to boot up, which, as an aside, completely idiotic in my opinion to have TVs that boot up. Remember the old days when you just pressed a button and the TV was on. Whatever you turned it on to last time is still on. And if it was a CRT, you had to, there was like that kind of like boing as it went on, and there's your thing. Or the old LCDs, to where you had a few drivers that had to boot up. Your power supply, a secondary power supply. So there was like a little lag, a very small lag, like at 1 or 2 seconds. But these days, you got your TV booting up, you might be waiting 30 seconds. You might be waiting a minute for your TV to boot up, because it's got to start the apps and it's got to connect, and then it does all these things. Don't like it. No, sir. No, sir, don't like it. Nope. Big nope. So I guess this was more of a talk about idiocracy than anything else. And even though these wheels are 25% of the size of most of the wheels that I put together, they took just as long. There was no time saving. There probably wasn't even any money saving either. I don't remember how much I paid for these, but I have a feeling that it was just as much as buying a full set of Samex wheels. Tires, maybe the tires were less. So there we go. I'm just going to put 2 of them on for now, on camera. It'll be fine. I'll have to do the rest off camera, because elsewise I'm going to rant about idiocracy coming true. Sure am. Because it is. Just you wait. It could be free TVs soon. As long as you're okay with advertisements tiled around the edges. Be honest. Tell me in the comments, would you get that free TV? What if it wasn't a 47? What if it's like a 65 and it was a 47 where you got to watch on a 47 all the time, but it's like a 65 or a 70 or whatever, a 69-inch TV, and it was just advertisements on the edges tiled, but you still got that 47 clear and free in the center. Maybe normal advertisements on that every here and there if you're watching normal TV. Would you do it? Would you do it? Yep, I wouldn't, I'll tell you that. So there we go. A little idiocracy and putting these together. These are nice and heavy though. I do like this. This will maybe help with this guy. We'll see. I'll just have to go test. I guess I'll go out, I'll crawl with it a few sections, and then I'll put those on. We'll do a normal test. We'll do like a real test on it. So there you go. Thanks for tuning in, joining me on the bench here, and I will see you soon. You've made it to the end of the video. Hopefully that means you liked what you saw. If you want to help out the channel, you can like, subscribe, and definitely comment down below. We would like to hear new ideas from you, so be sure you let us know what you'd like to see. There are some other suggestions probably floating by my head right now that you can check out, and otherwise we appreciate your support and your help growing the channel.